What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo, and in today's video we're actually going to be doing my first BTS project reaction. So I've done a handful of their singles in the past, a live performance here or there when I first started out YouTube, but I've grown a lot as a YouTuber and I've started doing a lot more album reactions over the last year. And so I feel like with BTS, it only makes sense that we dive into a complete album, and then if we're digging it, go through an entire discography from them. Now, before we get into today's video, I actually just want to plug my Patreon. All the things I'm able to do with these album reactions and stuff are because of my supporters over on Patreon. So what I do is I actually do uncut album listening parties over there. So while YouTube gets a chopped up version of this for copyright and blocks and things like that, which have been really gnarly lately, on Patreon, it gets the full upload. So you guys jam the entire album with me every second. We vibe through the transitions and all those things. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to check that out. Every sign up really helps this page a lot. And with all those things out of the way, I got the headphones. I do feel like doing these album reactions with headphones is definitely a game changer because you pick up so many like small moments in the instrumentals, in the different transitions, in the vocals. So I like to do it this way. Plus you guys get better audio out of it. So I appreciate that for you. Okay, the first track we're listening to is a song called Life Goes On. Oh, I guess I should preface this by saying I have the lyrics pulled up to the left. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna listen to the song, and then at the end of it, if I feel like, you know, maybe there wasn't a lot of English translation or something in it, I'll just take a look at the lyrics over here and then we can talk about it. Woo! So I already love this, almost like it's a very bright but like soft, very soft instrumental here. A lot of the stuff I've heard from them has always been a little bit, I guess, more like on the hip hop side of things, and I'm sure there's probably some of that in this anyways, but I love that they're able to switch around these genres just so easily. Oh, there it is. Fuck yeah. This was actually one of the first things that got me into BTS. I think it was a handful of tracks in from what I had heard. I heard these like amazing hip-hop verses, and I was definitely not expecting that with the style of music. And it's really cool because I think people getting into this music can, like, I don't know, you can really branch out to a lot of genres. I'm also, at this point, I do have the lyrics pulled up on the side. It is kind of hard for me to follow, but I am doing my absolute best. Woo! These fucking vocals right here. Woo! It's these harmonic moments for me. Hey! Woo! There's like this like perfect blend of like R&B and hip hop roots mixed with like more of like a pop style vocal delivery, I guess. It's kind of interesting how they are able to just like, I guess, like swap back and forth so effortlessly. Like you can hear almost like a trap beat kind of. Woo! I don't know that I've heard them do the hip hop styles, and I've heard some of their softer stuff from like the earlier years, just like, again, maybe a single or two. I don't think I've heard them blend. It's like almost like it's its own version of hip hop here, because like you got a lot of pop in the vocals, but this beat is super hip hop, and I think there's something interesting about having that acoustic guitar in this track as well. Okay, so I've got the lyrics pulled up here. There's like a couple like comments of people speculating on what the song was about. Let's see. A lot of it thinks that it is... Okay, the story behind the song begins from BTS declaring that even in the face of the new normality, our life goes on and imparts a message of healing to the fans of the world. I definitely think you can feel that here because it does feel like a song almost about like kind of the life we've been sort of having during the coronavirus and COVID-19. I think verses like here, it looks like rain again today. I'm soaked to the bone and it still won't stop. So like this whole entire year, if you think about it, has been a day where you wake up every day with either more bad news or things are staying the same, but nothing has been getting better. And so it's kind of like, it's raining on me. How much worse could life really get at this point? And then I think of, let me tell you with this song, people say the world has changed. Why did I do that? But thankfully between you and me, nothing has changed. It almost feels like with that, even though we are separated from artists and from humans and we're all, locked up and things like that, there is still that relationship to be had with those people. There is still that love and devotion, even if we're not seeing each other as much as we always do. And I really like that one. These are the English translations, so I don't know how accurate they are. Let's see. Another one here. Yeah, life goes on like an arrow in the blue sky. Another day flying by on my pillow, on my table. Think about it. We spent so much time in bed and just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for this time to pass. So this is a really good way to start. I'm really a fan of them blending hip hop with pop in such a beautiful way. And one thing that really sticks out to me is that almost like trap beat with an acoustic guitar. That's something that's always exciting for me. Okay, the next track is called Fly to My Room. Ooh. Beautiful vocals.
Every day,
oh! It's, to me, hearing these like super hard beats with these really soft vocals is such a beautiful blend. Okay, we can't just let that happen in the back and not talk about that beautiful instrument right there. Listen to this. Woo!
I just found a better way.
Oh!
I'm breaking this metaphor. 가벼운 몸이 날아가 멀리. This thing's so sorry. 지금 now let me fly to my room. Get me out of my bliss and now I'm feeling brand new.
So just looking at these lyrics right here, it almost makes me think, because I kind of feel like we're really touching a lot on the topics of COVID-19. I don't know if that's going to be this whole thing, but it kind of feels like it might be, which I think is really cool of them. It really makes you feel, or I guess like have that realization that everybody is going through the same thing with this. One thing that sticks out to me is this "Let's Go, Let Me Fly to My Room." Think about BTS and how they're pretty much always on tour. Fan base, the army, is super like in love with them. They support them no matter what. And so you've got this group that is basically on tour forever. I hear "Let's Go, Let Me Fly to My Room" as almost like I just want to get in an airplane and go travel again. Even if it means that I go get in an airplane and travel all the way around just to end up in my bedroom, I need that feeling of travel and experience again. And I think there's something very beautiful to be said with that. Oh! Who is this?
침대 위로 착지 여기가 제일 안전해 어쩜 기쁨도 슬픔도 어떤 감정도 여기 그저 받아주네 때론 이 방이 감정이 쓰레기통이 돼도 날 안아주네
God damn.
시선을 낮추고 어디든 맡겨 지금 나와 let me 시선을 낮추고 어디든 맡겨
These high notes? What the fuck?
시선을 낮추고 어디든 맡겨 지금 나와 let me
God, there is definitely someone singing in a very high, like almost falsetto. It's kind of hard to make it out. Like, I mean, obviously I don't know any of the members, so it's gonna be really hard to make it out. But I don't know. I hear it. It's really beautiful right here. Woo! The production on this is amazing. I don't know if they always work with the same producers, but that entire instrumental, so beautiful. So many little moments happening here. This song in particular, I'm trying to. There's one section here that really stands out to me, and again, these are English translations, so I don't know exactly how accurate they are. I imagine they're somewhat close. So verse 3 was Suga and J-Hope. I love this verse. This room is too small to contain my dream. Landing over the bed, this is the safest place. Somehow there's no joy, no sadness, and no emotion. It's just me here. So I think of somebody who is, even though you're confined to that room, it doesn't mean that you're not out there living your dreams in your imagination, or kind of like with positivity, hoping that these things are coming, because they continue to say, sometimes this room becomes an emotional trash can. It hugs me, they greet me again, the toys in my room are like people. It's as crowded as if we're out in the city, the TV sound, I just have to change my thoughts. This is a journey that only I can enjoy. Delivery food, fill it up with optimism, I'm full. I love this because there are so many ways you can look at the predicament that we have been as a world. Keep in mind, I mean, obviously, they are in a totally different country. As a world, we are all experiencing these things. And I kind of love the positivity in this, where despite the fact that you're going through so many emotional moments in that room as you're stuck, there are things that stick out to you. You can start to imagine all of these toys in your room are literally hugging you. It's your crowd, and you're still living your moment. You just know that it's a temporary fix, because soon you'll be out, touring the world again, hopefully. But I love delivery food, fill it up with optimism, I'm full. How many people, and I am so guilty of this, I've been ordering so much food to my house, and every time I do, I'm just for a little bit, I'm a little bit happier. Like, you get those carbs, and you're like, you know what? I feel a little bit better about what's going on. And then, of course, you're hungry again, and suddenly it's like, oh my God, everything sucks. But I just love that that is included there. Delivery food, fill it up with optimism, I'm full. So that was pretty tight. This next track that we're going to listen to is a song called Blue and Gray. I kind of love that they keep using acoustic guitars in this. It's very beautiful.
Where's my answer? 하루의 끝을 들리운 행복한가 봐. Can you look at me cause I'm blue and gray. 거울에 비친 물에 의미는 웃음에 감춰진 날 색깔 blue and gray.
So beautiful. Fuck. Okay. I'm learning right now that I am a huge Suga stan. I guess this is I don't know if this is like the main dude that does like the more like hip hop or like rap verses, but this tells me that this is Suga. This is sick. Okay, so I'm gonna nerd out for a second. So first and foremost, it's the only thing I know how to say. This ballad, guitar ballad, that's what we get. We got this acoustic jam, very, soft instrumental, pretty much, very emotional. You can tell that this song is definitely about struggling with, I can't quite figure out what it's actually struggling about. However, you can tell that there's a lot of struggle here. We're talking about, and I'm going to go back to Suga. I don't know where it went wrong since my youth. I've had a blue question mark in my head. Maybe that's why I've been living so fiercely. As in, like, that's why maybe I've been acting out or chasing after something or overworking myself. But when I look back, I'm all by myself. That hazy shadow that swallows me up, the blue question mark still exists. Is it anxiety or depression? So no matter all these things that you know, the group or Suga or whoever is like the main writer for this right now, whatever this person is going through, no matter the accomplishments that they've made, when they look back on all the things that they've gone through, they don't quite know why this question mark still exists, or why this sort of like looming cloud of, you know, possibly anxiety or depression is just here. But what I love is the emotional intensity they are able to create through the different various layers of this track. It's beautiful. Oh my god. My god. Woo! My favorite thing about BTS is this effortless blend of hip hop. Like, it can so easily go from just like a ballad into a hip hop ballad just like that. And the way that the instrumental kind of flows this next verse in is so beautiful to me. God damn. There's this beautiful atmosphere. Even, let me pause this. Even in this obviously sadder song, there's still this feeling of hope in it. It's not a pessimistic song at all. There's optimism in that bit of sadness that we're feeling. And I love that they have created an atmosphere that works so perfectly for this. Okay, this is definitely a heavy track. There's like little excerpts here that kind of say that this song is about artist burnout. So artist burnout would be people that are maybe overworked, or people that are, it's kind of hard because like BTS worked really, really hard to get to where they're at. And now they're arguably one of the biggest groups in existence right now. And I feel like there's a lot to that, because I feel like there's two sides to an artist, because at the end of the day, artists are human beings. I think of it just like your favorite maybe YouTube creators, or your favorite bands, or your favorite actors, all of these things. All those people are humans at the end of the day. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much success you're reaching, or how much you're touring, or how much you're, you know, all of the things that you were getting in your life because of those things. It still sometimes doesn't take away from that feeling of burnout, that feeling of not being enough, that feeling of anxiety or depression. Sometimes you can't mask those things with just success. I myself can totally relate to that. I've been a YouTuber with $0, been a YouTuber, you know, making a living doing it. And it's kind of weird how burnout hits when you're at your highest, or when you have your most success. You start to feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't, you know, you're tired. You feel this, a lot of anxiety. You feel a lot of the symptoms of depression because you're trying so hard to just like be the right thing for everybody. There are a couple things that really stuck out to me though. Let me find, it's English translation, so I never know if it's like completely perfect, but right here I said that this song kind of felt like it had optimism at the end of it. Like, it didn't feel like a pessimistic song. I just want to be happier. Please feel the warmth of my hands. They're not warm, so I need you more. This ground feels so heavier. I am singing by myself in the distant future. When I smile, I'll tell you I did. What I pick up from this is, even an artist, even somebody that big, they still need their fans. They still need their support because they're still struggling with things like anxiety, depression, loneliness, regret, guilt, all the things that humans experience. But one thing that kind of helps them, and I also can attest to this with my very supportive community, is that on the worst days, you know, I may be feeling like shit, but that's why I need so many of you. That's why I need that support. And that's why these fans still need to support BTS. Obviously they do, but there's a lot you can take from that. But that's really what I pick up, is that it's basically that struggle of like trying to be the best version of yourself, even when you're not feeling it. And it's nice to have people that support you and love you no matter what. The next track is a song, I believe, and it is called Telepathy. Telepathy, telepathy, telepathy. Oh, that bass? This is the first upbeat track we've had on the album so far. I feel like the first couple of tracks were definitely a little bit more sad and a little bit more like they actually felt sad, not just lyrically, though they were. This is the first like more upbeat track we've had. Woo! I love that Suga's got so many different versions of his rap style too, of his delivery, because I feel like it gives him a lot of movement to work with. Oh, this actually has a very like sort of Young Money, Cash Money feel from like 2006, 2010 era. A lot of like Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake, a lot of those artists, Tyga, they kind of use instrumentals that were similar to this. And I actually love that Suga, and even, I don't know if Jungkook is also sort of this hip hop style, but it really gives me a vibe of that record label at that particular era. Woo! Those high notes. I'm not gonna lie, I've never wanted to speak Korean more than I do right now. Like, I imagine that his verse, if I could really understand what he was saying in Korean, is probably so sick. Woo! Like, that end right there just sounds, again, like those Young Money, Cash Money years. I just love that funky bass line. Okay, excerpt. I always start with this because it does help me understand, like, kind of like a general theme. A retro, cheerful song with funky... Okay. I already knew that. Jin stated that... I hope I'm saying that right. Jin stated that they wrote it to melt down the feeling of not being able to meet with their fans because of the pandemic. So, it definitely is the first, I guess, like, upbeat track. And, again, it's kind of crazy how the album... Those first three were pretty sad, and then 4 kind of lighten the mood a little bit, and then we get into this track, which, again, that bass line really does kind of bring the mood. It kind of brings the feeling up. So, if we're thinking about this from the idea of melt down the feeling of not being able to meet with their fans, there's a couple things that stuck out to me. Let me scroll through here. Even though we're far away now, our hearts are still the same. Even if you're not by my side, you know we're together. So, I think I touched on this on Fly Me to My Room as well. Fly to My Room. But in this track, I kind of feel like we're talking about this moment where, like, even though all these miles are going to separate us, even though these tours are canceled, the world tours are canceled, the fan meetups, the meet and greets, all of these wonderful things, just being able to play in front of our fans, even though that's gone, we still care about you. We still love you so much. That love has never changed just because this distance has happened. And I love the way V and Jungkook delivered that, by the way. It was one of my favorite verses. Another one that stuck out to me was, let's see, every time during the same day, I feel the happiest when I meet you. Every time, even in a different everyday life, you're the most special person to me. So no matter what's going on in the lives of the members, there is a certain feeling on that day when they are able to meet with their fans who have literally created this entire empire for them. And it's important, I think it's very important for them to make this song because some people ride so hard for this group and it's so beautiful. And when you get a moment when you're no longer able to see them in person, you're no longer able to experience those live moments from them or even see them doing, you know, little tours, getting their like TV recognition and things like that, you feel so distant from them. And I think it's really beautiful to hear it from their side. Like, you know what? One thing that keeps our drive and motivation to move forward through all this pandemic and all of these things is that we know how great that feeling is going to be on the day we actually get to see you again and meet you. That happiness is going to be more important than anything else that we have going on. And so we're going to use this funky beat to have a very upbeat moment, just to let you guys know how much we love you. The next track we're listening to is a song called Disease. It's actually Dis-ease. And I went ahead and read the excerpt ahead of time so that I could follow along with the lyrics. A bright old school hip hop song about disease of artists' own profession and the feeling of uncertainty during the pandemic. So you guys already know I'm going to vibe with this because I've been talking about this message since the start of the pandemic to try to support your favorite bands and artists. So let's do this. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, wait, am I about to fall in love with J-Hope? I think so. Oh, wait a minute. I am so in love with this delivery just now. I definitely need to hear more tracks with J-Hope going in like that. That was amazing. Oh my god. Hey! Hey! Oh my god! So, through all of this amazing lyricism, what I'm kind of picking up on is them actually talking, it kind of feels like they're talking about the performance aspect of being an artist a little bit, because there's a little thing, RM, yeah, my heart needs a vacation. Oh, just do your job. I'm ill, yeah, I'm the job itself. A friend named Rest, I've never liked him. So I'm kind of picking up, not only are they talking about, obviously, their performances and you know, performing for these crowds and everything, but there's also this other side of it, which is about them, their physical aspect of their job, because when I think of BTS on their own, they are crazy performers because their choreography is amazing on top of everything else they're able to do. And so I'm kind of picking up like a little bit of that here, because right here, I'm too young, my body's the only grown up. And that kind of makes me think, like, at heart, you know, I feel like musicians and stuff, you can stay young at heart because of what you're doing. But, you know, especially with all the choreography and stuff, that weighs a lot of toll on your body. So kind of interesting to hear that too. Who is it that's doing these like almost falsetto vocals here? Right here. god. Fuck. Yeah, do it. Okay. Ha! That is definitely my favorite track on the album. Hands down. This is definitely like, I love the old school hip hop feel. I absolutely love the like entire DJ feeling of this track. I feel like it definitely brings out the spirit of like 80s and early 90s hip hop. And on top of that, I feel like the delivery of the actual like hip hop lyricism here is on point, and so I got to give a huge shout out to J-Hope at the beginning of this. Such a fan already after hearing that. One thing I love is that I was reading this moment from, who was it? J-Hope, of course. And J-Hope says, I better call this song Dis-Ease. Out of habit, I would say I'm okay. I have hope. And then just keep working. But I think I was just avoiding my work-related problems rather than facing them head on. The nice thing about music is that I can say what's on my mind, even the feeling of sadness or depression, in beautiful ways. I don't usually express those feelings, but this time I wanted to try. And I think that they nailed it on being able to do this, because when they say it's a bright old school hip hop song about disease of artist's own profession and the feeling of uncertainty in the pandemic. So people tend to do things to try to relieve these things that they feel: anxiety, depression, stress, many other things. And one of the biggest ways they do that, and I talk about this so much on my channel, and that's why I kind of reflect and relate on this song so much, is that when you have an artist performing or creating music or those things, that is a therapeutic moment for them. That is maybe their therapy for the day, the week, the month, whatever, or even your year. And so in doing that, they're able to get some of those feelings off of their chest, whether that is writing it out or performing it for all of their fans. Well, whenever something like the pandemic happens, a really unfortunate thing starts to happen with artists where you're finally having to sit at home in your empty house and reflect on all of the things that are wrong with you, or that you're working on, or that you have been putting to the side because you haven't been putting your own self first in these moments. And it's really sad. I'm not going to mention any names, but there have been bands that have had to deal with losses of members due to, maybe suicide or drug-related things, because it's hard when you take someone who's been traveling and on the road forever and you suddenly lock them into their house for a year. You don't know what happens at that time when someone has to spend that much time with themselves. And so I think it's really cool to listen to this song and pay attention to these lyrics, because there's something beautiful about this where it's almost like reflecting on, yes, these are diseases, but at the same time, I know that, I'm working on these things, and I know that going through and being able to get back to my career is going to help me fix that even further. We're just going to take it one step at a time, or as they say, keep 1-2 step. But the delivery of the song is just so powerful. Again, that old school influence is everything to me. Okay, the next track we're going to listen to is called Stay. Let me get these lyrics pulled up and let's do it. Wait, how many lyricists do they have that do like this hip hop style? Because so far we've had Suga, J-Hope, and RM. Look at me. I'm naming the members of BTS. Oh, we about to get EDM? Woo! Oh my god. So I am like a low-key sucker for EDM. I don't like seek it out very often. I don't listen to it very much. But anytime I hear like remixed pop songs, or like my favorite thing is to go on YouTube and find like EDM mixed emo tracks like Panic at the Disco and stuff, and people will like create whatever. I'm nerding out. Anyways, so I don't ever seek it out, but I love to hear it. I think this instrumental is really fucking awesome. One other thing too, pay attention to the lyrics and stuff, listen to a little bit of the excerpt. This song, kind of like with the rest of their songs, I definitely see why the ARMY loves them so much, because they notice the ARMY, they respect the ARMY, and they literally dedicate songs about wanting to meet the ARMY because they miss them so much. And I feel like a lot of this album so far has been conversations back and forth of how much they miss their fans and how much they miss performing. And I think that is very beautiful.
We connect to 7G. It ain't the end of the world.
Oh! Yes! It's the build-up for me.
Yeah, no, you always say. You always say. 참 바람이 불어와. 손내밀어 네 숨결을 느껴.
Again, I just want to reiterate the fact that they love the fans so much. And it, like, I get it. As I'm listening to this, I can understand why they are so popular and they have such a big fan base. Like, listen to this. Not only are we getting a beautiful EDM moment from them, super upbeat, and what feels super positive in a what would be sad situation. Obviously, not traveling, not being able to do any of these things. I know we're talking about this a lot, but this album does reflect on this a lot. They are not able to be face-to-face with their fans. They are not able to have that contact, that love, those moments that you really cherish as a fan and both as an artist. We just heard in Dis-Ease that, you know, they're kind of like using these moments, same with Blue and Gray, to like help them get out of this sadness. And so when you're not seeing your fans, it's hard. So this is a song of positivity, sort of looking through the future, I guess. And it's kind of beautiful to see that they care so much and that a lot of their inspiration comes from the fans, because I imagine if you're ARMY, you feel like you are literally one with all of your peers. And it's kind of amazing that, you know, BTS acknowledges their fan base so often. I don't often see that from every artist I check out. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of like really cool to me. It kind of gets you emotional, you know? You're like, oh my God, they love their fans so much. I'm just pulling up the lyrics to Dynamite. So I've listened to this song. I've seen them perform it live. That's how I've heard it. And it was badass. You really get to see the choreography they have, but I've never actually just listened to the song. So we're going to do that right now. Woo! Can I just say that there is something so like wholesome about that verse, while at the same time still being so fun and upbeat. Jump up to the top, LeBron, ding dong, call me on my phone, iced tea in a game of ping pong. I would hang out with whoever that was.
You know I glow up. Hey, so let's go. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, shining through the city with a little funky soul. So skies are light, so
It's so upbeat.
ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball.
Woo!
This is getting heavy. 'Cause I'm in the
Woo!
stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Woo! I love the fact that they're able to blend this disco sound with a very funky sound, still have a pop feeling, and it feel so positive. I think that this is one of those songs that blew up because, rightfully so, it's a badass song, but also because in the year of 2020, we need stuff like this. We need stuff to feel hopeful about and stuff to get excited about, and this is it. Wait, who does that? Oh my God. Woohoo! What a a fucking banger to end on. Obviously, I can see why this was a single. Again, 2020 needed something like this. I'll never forget watching them perform this. I forget what award show it was on, but it's kind of cool to see just how enthusiastic they get about the performance, where for them, it's not just about the song. It is about the entire moment of that song, whether it be the choreography, the lyricism, getting to do these different runs. All of it comes together to create the art that is BTS. And watching this song in particular was amazing to me just because they look like they were having such a great time doing it. I definitely feel like it is the most positive song on this because, well, quite frankly, there is a lot of sadness in this album as well, which I think we should talk about. So, the first 3 tracks of this are pretty intense. There is a lot of reflection of COVID-19, of quarantining, being stuck in this pandemic, watching the world go around it, but also being a human involved in it, and also being an artist of one of the biggest groups of all time, being involved in it. And I think there's a lot of reflection as you go through those first 3 tracks where there's a lot of sadness, and even though you feel that hope, the sadness, I think, feels a little bit overwhelming in those first couple of tracks, and rightfully so. I'm glad that BTS can be so upfront and honest about those emotions that they're going through. Skit is a good way to kind of break up into the next section of the album. It's, to me, there's 8 songs on this, and Skit not being a song, it's kind of crazy. But at the same time, this has so many streams, so people still love it and care for it. What I loved about it most was that it showed me a human side of a group that I don't know that much about. Getting to see those behind-the-scene moments let me see more sincerity and authenticity in the artists themselves, and therefore it gives me much more of an appreciation for them as people. So I actually enjoyed that part. Listening to it doesn't really do anything for me because I couldn't understand, but reading the lyrics was amazing to me. However, after that, we got into a different section of this album, much more positive. Definitely had a little bit more of an upbeat feeling in the instrumentals. We definitely got a little bit more power in these deliveries. In my opinion, Dis-Ease is the best song on this album, hands down. Not only do I absolutely love the production style and influence that they chose to go with, I love the 70s or the 80s and 90s hip-hop influence in that. I think they pretty much nailed it. I absolutely love to hear the hip-hop delivery from them. I think they do such a good job paying a nod to the greats in this, and it was really incredible. But one thing that really stands out to me, again, as this being my first BTS project, is that there is so much honesty in this group. There is such a connection between artist and fan base here, and it makes sense to me that their fan base is so big. Listening to this right away, they feel like actual human beings that just happen to be extremely talented. I actually felt going through this that I kind of knew more about them than I ever did to begin with. Whenever you can't understand the lyrics and you don't read them, I feel like it's really hard to understand everything that is BTS, because you can listen to BTS and love it sonically, which, by the way, this album sonically is banging. Even these slower, sadder tracks had absolutely beautiful instrumentals to them, and the vocals and hip-hop delivery alone can carry these. But if you choose to open the lyrics and really try to look at even the translated version of these lyrics, you learn a lot about this group, actually. I definitely feel like we are dealing with a 7-member group of very honest personalities, and I think that really shows out in the not only in that skit but also in these lyrics. I feel like they put a lot out there. I've always respected artists that put a lot out there, put a lot of themselves out there in the songs, really bleed their heart onto the pad, because then whenever you read it back, you feel something with them. You feel like you can connect with them on more than just a musical level. And it was also really cool for me to see some of the excerpts from this lyric website I was using, because it also let me see how they felt about the same songs that I was reading as well, and what their intentions were when they were writing them. Because again, I think you get a very human nature from them that makes them feel very authentic and real. So the ARMY, I get why you guys are so strong and enlisting more and more every single day. I understand why you would ride so hard for this group. Not only are they amazing performers, extremely talented, and in my opinion, lyrically severely underrated, since I don't know that everybody always looks at the lyrics. they're just awesome people, hands down. I definitely feel like everything I've ever seen from them has always been very genuine and honest and fun. And as I'm going through and I'm listening to this album, I'm picking that up with every single song. I did not expect to get the depth and lyricism I was gonna get on this album. I didn't know what to expect lyrically. This was absolutely beautiful for my first time listening to BTS. The only song that would be a skip for me, if I even had to pick one, would just be the skit, because in my opinion, like if I can't understand them and it's not a song, I'm not gonna get much out of that. But the rest of this album is absolutely amazing. Dis-Ease stays at the top for me. I also liked Fly Me to My Room. I felt like the lyrics were amazing there. Stay was really great. Okay, I liked all these songs. I think Dynamite, I guess, is the one song that the entire thing was in English, and I think they did that so that they could really make this a single. But I absolutely love that it's so upbeat and fun. So the only thing I'm gonna have to pick is skit. That's the only thing that, like, I don't know. I guess for me, I don't really love skits all that much. It's not really my favorite thing. The one thing I got out of this, though, was that personality, and that's something that I do enjoy. So I really hope you guys liked today's video. Please remember to check out my Patreon. I actually do full uncut album listening parties over there. So I don't really cut anything out of them except for just transitions between my camera and stuff. So that's it. So if you're interested at all in checking that out and supporting my channel, make sure to check it out there. All future BTS stuff that we do, because we're definitely going to check out more of them, will be available uncut over there as well. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what your favorite album from BTS is. I'm really excited to see what else they have in their discography. So huge shout out to all of you for supporting me. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.